This is Adam, and he suffers from gout. Try Urol. It helps to prevent crystallization of uric acid crystals in gout therapy. Urol, effective urinary alkalinizer for gout.
Hello, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. The Court of Appeal has reversed an earlier High Court decision and reinstated 4 charges of abuse of power against Muhyiddin Yassin. This is in relation to the former Prime Minister's case involving the Jana Wibawa program.
The Court of Appeal has quashed the discharge and acquittal of Muhyiddin Yassin when it reinstated the 4 abuse of power charges against him linked to the Jana Wibawa program. The 3-person bench, chaired by Hadhariah Syed Ali, today unanimously reversed the Kuala Lumpur High Court decision in August last year that allowed the former Prime Minister's bid to challenge the charges for being vague and defective. The bench, which also comprised judges Asmi Arifin and S.M. Komati, allowed the prosecution's appeal to reinstate the power abuse charges. Speaking on behalf of the appellate bench, Hadhariah ruled that the charges were clear and unambiguous. On August 15th last year, High Court Judge Muhammad Jamil Hussain ruled that the power abuse charges were defective and not in line with the Criminal Procedure Code. He said the charges did not reveal sufficient particulars on the alleged offence under the MACC Act 2009. The judge pointed out the 4 charges were unclear, including whether Muhyiddin was accused of making an unlawful decision or if he unlawfully used his position. When met by the media after court proceedings, Muhyiddin's counsel, Hisham Tepotek, said they are seriously considering appealing to the federal court. The case against the Perikatan Nasional chairperson is set for mention before the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court next Monday, March 4th. The Pago MP is also still facing 3 related money laundering counts pending at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court.
Meanwhile, the Dewan Rakyat erupted into chaos today when a Bersatu MP claimed he was approached with a bribe to support Anwar Ibrahim's administration.
Satu tuduhan yang buang aja. Satu tuduhan serius yang dibawa.
A commotion broke out in the Dewan Rakyat today after an opposition lawmaker claimed that he was offered a bribe to support Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Wan Saiful Wan Jan alleged that he was also offered an allocation of 1.7 million ringgit for his constituency. The former Bersatu Information Chief claimed he had attended a series of meetings with different individuals who tried to persuade him to back Anwar. This prompted several objections by government MPs, with Jelutong Rep Arisan Raya calling for Wan Jan to amend his statement.
Kenyataan mengatakan bahawa ada habuan kalau menyokong Perdana Menteri kita merupakan sangkaan jahat. Takkan kita nak biarkan pembangkang membuat kenyataan-kenyataan. Kalau berani buat report dengan SPRM lah. Jadi saya minta supaya kenyataan itu diperbetulkan. Ini berulang kali. Berulang kali. Muah.
You yourself know ugutan yang kita kena. Jangan buat tak tahu.
Speaker
kita pun dijanjikan peruntukan. Kalau sokong apa yang salah?
Saya bangkitkan isu peraturan dengan Tan Sri. Saya minta MUA supaya tidak campur tangan, duduk.
Okey, sekarang gini.
Tan Sri Speaker.
Okey, semua duduk.
After a shouting match between both sides, Speaker Johari Abdul told Wan Saiful not to bring hearsays in the House and asked him to move on. According to Johari, the accusations that Wan Saiful made were presumption and could not be verified, and hence should not be brought into the August House.
Yesterday, the opposition grabbed the headlines when they staged a walkout in Parliament to object to Anwar's late speech. Following this, several MPs come out to criticize the move, with one DAP lawmaker calling them insecure.
Liu Chin Tong has hit out at Perikatan Nasional over their decision to stage a walkout from the Dewan Rakyat yesterday. The DAP Deputy Secretary General called the opposition insecure and described the excuse for leaving before Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim delivered his ceremonial appreciation to the young Di-Pertuan Agong as pedantic. In a statement, he said usually ministers announce policies and explain situations via a statement to the Parliament, which is generally presented in the morning but not necessarily so. He added that a statement to Parliament is meant to officially thank the previous young Di-Pertuan Agong and to welcome the new young Di-Pertuan Agong. He said this is to ensure the remarks of the parliamentary proceedings are recorded, as this is the first parliamentary sitting since the new young Di-Pertuan Agong took office. However, he pointed out that the smart elect opposition decided to nitpick the details about the morning and afternoon sessions and then walked out of the Dewan Rakyat. Liu, who is also the Iskandar Puteri MP, pointed out that Anwar could not attend Parliament in the morning yesterday as he was hosting his Cambodian counterpart, Hun Manet, who is on his first official visit to Malaysia. He added that he hoped the opposition would spend more time working together with the government to improve the economy, reduce the people's financial burden and strive for a better Malaysia. Yesterday, before the walkout, opposition leader Hamzah Zainuddin rose from his seat to protest the timing of Anwar's speech, which he said should have been done earlier at the start of the Dewan Rakyat sitting this morning. He claimed that no Prime Minister had delivered a speech after debates on the King's decree had commenced.
Still on the opposition's walkout, Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli took a swipe at PN over the issue. He suggested they think of better ways to help the Rakyat and bring it up in Parliament.
Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli joined those criticising Perikatan Nasional MPs over their walkout from Parliament yesterday. In a post on Facebook, Rafizi said he missed the mandatory PN event in Parliament, another walkout again, even though it came just one day after the young Diputan Agong spoke about etiquette in Parliament. He said when he was an opposition MP, he never interrupted the debate by using the standing orders as is happening with the opposition now. He pointed out that at one point, former Hadhariah MP Anwar Musa mocked him as Member of Parliament for Pondan before saying he meant Pandan, allegedly to make a joke and blatantly violate the rules of the meeting. Rafizi said he had then responded that Hadhariah's age is not much different from my father's age and the people saw his morals at that age. He also singled out PN chairperson Muhyiddin Yassin, who reportedly accused the government of riding roughshod over the opposition as it has a majority in Parliament. Rafizi pointed out that Muhyiddin himself, when he was Prime Minister, had declared a state of emergency and suspended Parliament when his majority support was in doubt. He also highlighted that MPs have only 5 to 7 minutes to speak in the Dewan Rakyat and they should use that opportunity to deliver substantive points, especially if you are the opposition, because that's the only chance for them to show off their ability to govern with better ideas than the government. Unfortunately, he said, the existing opposition often lacks ideas to debate substantive issues. He added that the practice of walkouts by PN will destroy PN itself if it does not successfully demonstrate the function of the opposition in Parliament.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Hamzah Zainuddin took aim at Anwar over the decline of the ringgit. He called for Anwar to be held accountable and to sack himself from the finance minister post.
Opposition leader Hamzah Zainuddin has demanded that Anwar Ibrahim apply the same standards to himself by sacking the current finance minister over the decline of the ringgit. He pointed out that Anwar, who is the Prime Minister and Finance Minister, had many times in the past criticised the Finance Minister when the ringgit went down. The Bersatu Secretary General told the Dewan Rakyat yesterday that if Anwar could scold the Finance Minister in 2022, which was Tunku Zafrul Abdul Aziz, over the ringgit drop, then he should scold the current Finance Minister now. At the time, the ringgit was around 4.64 ringgit to the US dollar, while last Tuesday the ringgit dipped to around 4.8 to a US dollar, the lowest since the 1998 Asian financial crisis. Responding to the issue, Anwar had said that unlike in 1998, investor confidence in Malaysia remained high, while inflation and unemployment were in decline. He also said other regional currencies were also sliding, while Bank Negara said that the ringgit was being undervalued. Meanwhile, Hamzah also chided Anwar for saying that the ringgit decline should not be turned into a political punching bag. He added that when it hits him, he deflects it all away. He also challenged Anwar as Premier and Finance Minister to take the bull by the horns and be responsible for the ringgit's performance.
Amanah's Mujahid Yusof Rawa has criticised a PKR lawmaker over his comments on the King's decree of not entertaining attempts to topple the government. Hassan Karim's comments had courted brickbats from within the Pakatan Harapan coalition.
Amanah Deputy President Mujahid Yusof Rawa has questioned if Hassan Abdul Karim had forgotten the Sheraton move in 2020, which resulted in the public losing faith in politicians and political parties. This is after the PKR lawmaker said the young Diputan Agong, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar, had crossed a line when he decreed he wouldn't entertain any move to topple the current government till the next election. In a statement, Mujahid questioned if Hassan realised that what lurked behind the Sheraton move was the erosion of morals with MPs who can be bought with money and positions. The Sheraton move refers to the political coup involving defections from Harapan, which led to the coalition losing its grip on federal power after 22 months of winning the 2018 general election. Mujahid, who is also a senator, said while the King's decree is open to debate, MPs must also respect the monarch's powers, which permits His Majesty to criticise politicians. He said Hassan did not err in the sense that an MP cannot provide his or her view regarding the King's decree, but erred in being naive of the reality and background on which the decree was premised. He added the opposition is preoccupied with guessing the date of this government's collapse and uses race and religious sentiments against the coalition government. Yesterday, Hassan pointed out that the Agong is a constitutional, not an absolute monarch, and said that His Majesty cannot ignore a situation where the opposition manages to secure the support of the majority of MPs to allow it to form a new government. His comments have quoted brickbats from within the Pakatan Harapan coalition.
Azalina has revealed that warrants of arrest could be issued to those who refuse to testify in the Royal Commission of Inquiry on Batu Puteh.
The Royal Commission of Inquiry on Batu Puteh, Batuan Tengah and Tubais Selatan are empowered to issue warrants of arrest against those who refuse to testify before it. This is according to Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reforms, Azalina Othman Said. She was quoted as saying by The Star that this was one of the several important powers granted to the RCI for the sake of truth and justice. She said among these powers are summoning people to testify, to issue warrants of arrest against those refusing to do so, and issuing fines. Azalina said the Batu Puteh RCI would be given up to 6 months to complete its probe, with the final report to be tabled in Parliament. The RCI is meant to review issues regarding the sovereignty of the 3 small outcrops that lie between Johor and Singapore. The inquiry is expected to review a decision by the Dr. Mahathir Mohamad-led Pakatan Harapan government to drop a review of the International Court of Justice decision to award Batu Puteh to Singapore. Previously, Mahathir's lawyers said they may advise him against testifying before the RCI. This was due to an alleged conflict of interest between the former Prime Minister and the Commission's chairperson, former Chief Justice Mat Raus Sharif. Mahathir previously challenged an extension of Mat Raus' tenure as a judge past mandatory retirement, with the latter resigning after he took office in 2018.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.